the like kind of nitty gritty details. It's like a cone drill versus like a game situation type thing. Could we just talk a little about the differences in how the cone drills may impact like the athlete's movement strategy they're going to pick and how that could differ from what may actually happen in a game?
Yeah, yeah. So anytime you use boundaries, you use lines, cones, another person, and you say, if you say to me, Lee, you got to go from this cone to that cone, immediately my head switches from solving like a sport task to creating footwork patterns. Okay. And I never create footwork patterns in my head when I compete. I just try to accomplish a task. I read speeds and angles and I do those. But the minute that's taken away from me and now I have to go to a distance, I automatically start timing where my deceleration is going to be. So if we do a 5-10-5, right? We push off, we start tilting, we tilt, we plant, then we repeat going the other way or run the other way. I can't do that if you just said to me, Lee, you got to move and change direction when Anthony does. Okay, now I'm not thinking footwork, I'm thinking match Anthony. So when you go to a cone drill, you want to have specific reasons for doing the cone drill. Like you want to affect some part of their movement. So if, again, going back to you a couple of minutes ago, your left side wasn't planning right, well, I'm going to go to a 5-05 type drill versus maybe a 5-10-5 because I'm not so concerned about the right side. You're great there. I'm just going to work on that. So that's how I can manipulate that drill. But the biggest problem with having boundaries is athletes pre-decelerate before they actually decelerate. So they'll start the tilting response. So if I'm running towards the line and I have a tilt, I'll start tilting the other way to make sure I get an angle to plant really early, which means anytime you use a cone drill or a line, they will use their inside leg more often to plant, to set up the outside leg, which is the final decelerator. But I won't do that always when I have to react. Because if you change directions, like if we're playing basketball is a really good example because the change of direction is so quick and it can be really short, like short distance. If I go to my right really fast and get you shuffling hard and then change really quick, you're not going to go inside foot, outside foot, push off. You're just going to stick, boom, and go. So a cone drill can create an improper patterning unless you give it context. That's why you always give it context and then go back to the live drill because you're trying to load a pattern. Do you see what I'm saying on that? Because this gets missed a lot. People think I'm against cone drills. I'm like, no. Cone drills are my corrective. That's how I fix stuff, right? But that's not what they're going to do in the game because they're not thinking of timing 2 steps cut, 2 steps cut. They're thinking, don't let Corey beat me. That's the difference.
So you can kind of use the cone drill to work on like either the loading or unloading of a change of direction and like having the athlete try to, or constraining it so that the athlete understands how to create these angles. And then, but you want to kind of stay away from that long term and have them just do that more in their like more sports specific stuff. But you need that cone drill to teach them kind of, we need to find these angles when we're doing the more sports specific stuff.
Yeah. If you want to fit like if somebody cuts a lot with a slightly externally rotated foot. So if I'm moving, this is my foot and I'm coming to the side and I want to plant to go back this way, but my foot turns out. So my toe, rather than pointing perpendicular to the direction I want to go, it turns out a little bit. They're going to get knee glide. In other words, the quadricep is going to take a lot of the deceleration demands when it should be the stiffness quality of the 3 joints, the hip, the knee, the ankle, and the IT band and all that stuff should absorb and release that force quick. The minute the toe goes out, now we get knee glide. That knee is going to have to drive forward a little bit because you've just gone into plantar flexing. Anytime you get external rotation of the foot on a cut, now you're plantar flex, right? Because it opens the ankle joint a little bit. That reduces it. So I can fix that by, number one, as long as there's not a dysfunction, like a bony dysfunction at the talus or something like that. If it's just, they're lazy, sloppy, they're not used to doing it. I can do a cone drill, a low box drill, and I can literally shape them with my hands, put them in the position, say, this is what I need you to feel. Now go, boom, stop, go, stop. All right, now go back and forth a couple of times. No, stop. You're starting to turn again. See, I can work that with a cone drill or a low box drill or a fake throat or something like that to get them to feel it. But now I got to back it up with a live drill again. It's kind of like it'd be like Anthony, if Anthony makes a correction on somebody, well, now give him a strength pattern to hold that correction. It's kind of the same thing with the speed.